So what's going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another zombies video, and today we are going to be doing a quick and brief breakdown of the ending for Revelations. Finally, this whole zombie storyline, this massive 8-year cycle has come to an end. But something about this tells me that this isn't it. Zombies is not over. Anyway, if you haven't seen the cutscene already, I'm going to play it for you, and then we'll be back after to explain it. Enjoy.
SOPHIA.
Maxis.
You know what we must do, my dear.
Yes, my love.
We will do it together. As one we are. Now and forever.
With the evil vanquished, I can start making it all nice again. No undead, no apothecons, no shadow man. All of it gone. Forever. But here's the funny thing. You snowflakes shouldn't even still be here. You should be fading out of existence by now. Those blood vials. I was wondering when you'd bring this up. They're from realities we've already closed off. They shouldn't be here. They can't be here. Such a paradox means you're putting my perfect world at risk. You guys and your bloody free will. What to do? What to do? Well, you certainly can't stay here.
You could send us somewhere else. Somewhere we've never been.
I suppose I could make a little corner somewhere in history. A place where I can dump some of the other shit that I've left over. Or I just wipe you from existence. Ooh, hang on. Actually, that all works out perfectly.
So at the end, we get teleported to the boss room where we fight and finally defeat the Shadow Man. You see, after he is defeated, he gets banished, and then we teleport into Samantha's room. You see, we have SOPHIA and Maxis, but what you may not notice is Maxis is actually inside of the summoning key. We have SOPHIA, her body, herself inside of the machine that we see in Garrett Karovi, and then we have Maxis, who we already knew, his soul, which to me doesn't really make sense since his soul was supposed to be still at Origins, but however, we have Maxis inside of the summoning key. He seems to give SOPHIA some kind of power, and then Maxis says to her, SOPHIA, you know what we must do, we will do it together, as one, we are now and forever. You then see them go outside, and you see SOPHIA fly up into the massive blue ball of 115, and then Maxis, who I believe is still in the summoning key, follows her up, and as soon as they both hit it, as soon as the summoning key or Maxis and SOPHIA go inside of this massive blue energy, this massive 115, they destroy it, taking the apothecons, all the bad, the evil, the zombies, the Shadow Man with it. Not only do they destroy themselves, but by doing this, they destroy all of the evil in this perfect universe, and now it is gone. They and all of the evil have been destroyed. Pretty much, they killed themselves, although now they were together, which is what they wanted from the beginning. They have sacrificed themselves to get rid of the evil. Now we come over to the scene where we have Monty talking to our 4 characters. We are in the perfect universe. Monty says with now the evil gone, he can start to make everything right again. No apothecons, no Shadow Man, no zombies. All of it's gone forever, but here's the funny thing. You, meaning our 4 characters, shouldn't even be here. Because the other versions of these characters have died, because there are no other universes left, because their O1s don't exist, these Origins characters that we see standing here shouldn't even exist anymore. With the evil and everything else now gone, this should also mean that the Origins characters no longer exist, but as Monty says, they do. And the only reason they are still here is because now you see they have drank the blood. This reveals what the blood was for all this time. It was Richtofen's backup plan because he knew Monty's secret. Monty's secret from Richtofen was the fact that after all of this, when this finishes, these characters, Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, are not going to exist. They will fade away because they have killed their O1s, because they have taken their souls and give them to the kids. These Origins characters will fade away and cease to exist. Richtofen knew that was going to happen. Richtofen knew Monty was keeping this secret from him, and so to back himself up, not only did he get blood for himself, but he got it for the other 3 characters as well, and you now see they have drank it in the ending cutscene, which is the only reason why the characters are still alive. The blood was to keep them alive, was to stop them fading away after all this was finished. So getting back to the cutscene, Monty says, something doesn't add up, you guys shouldn't even be here, and then he looks at the blood vials on our characters' chests. He remembers that they have the blood vials. You see one of the canisters on each of the characters has been used, the blood has been taken, but they still have another jar each, what we'll get onto later on into the video. But as I was saying, Monty notices that the characters have the blood vials and that they have used them. Richtofen says, I was wondering when you'd bring this up, and Monty replies with, they're from realities we've already closed off. They shouldn't be here, they can't be here. Such a paradox means you're putting my perfect world at risk. You guys and your free will. Then Monty starts saying, what to do, what shall I do? And then he tells our characters, you certainly can't stay here. At this point, you can see Takeo and Nikolai think that Monty's about to kill them, and so they get their weapons ready to take out to attack Monty. But Richtofen says to Monty, instead of getting rid of us, you could just send us somewhere else. Somewhere we've never been. Monty says, well, I suppose I could make a little corner somewhere in history, meaning he could make a little universe or a little world somewhere out of the way where these characters haven't been yet, where they won't affect Monty's perfect universe or anywhere else. If he puts them in a universe where they haven't been or they haven't affected that area, then what they have done by staying alive with the blood won't matter. Monty says, I could do that, or I could just wipe you from existence. And then you see that's exactly what he starts doing to our characters. They start to disappear, they start to fade away. Monty begins to wipe our characters from existence, which is proof that Monty is a god. He is this all-powerful being. He has the power to control things, and from this you see he even has the power to wipe people from existence, which is what he begins to do with our characters. But then he realizes there is another option. So you see Monty instead sends our characters back in time, a very long time ago. In fact, so long back, anything that these characters have done will not affect that time period. And in fact, Monty sends them back to the age of the Primis. He sends them back so our characters, the Origins characters, in fact, do become Primis. They are Primis. You see them standing on the mound with the ultimate staffs on the battlefield of the Great War. Behind them, you see that statue, that old monument that we find in Origins. Monty sends our characters back millenniums of years ago when the Apothicons were first defeated, so our characters could become Primis. And that's the end of the story. Our characters are now Primis. They have been sent back in time, in fact very far back, and they are now existing in that time period, which means they are in their own little bubble, separate from Monty's perfect universe, where him and the children won't be affected. So they can all grow up safely, where everyone can exist. And all of our characters, besides from obviously the Shadow Man and the Apothicons, now have a perfect ending. And that is, as it says, the end. But let's be honest, it doesn't feel like it. Jason Blundell told us, even when you think Revelations is finished, when you think it is done, it isn't, which leads me to believe there may be a lot more to this, and as some people have said, there may even be another ending to Revelations. Now, considering we've got the achievements for the end, to me that tells us this is the only ending. But what about the children? We heard nothing else of them. There are still other things that haven't been explained, and I thought the whole point of Revelations was to conclude everything, just bring all the loose ends of our zombie storyline and tie them up and tell the story. And as far as I'm aware, neither us playing the the map or this ending cutscene still doesn't explain everything in our zombie storyline, which could suggest maybe there is another ending which shows off the children, which tells you what's happened to them, which I'm going to discuss in another video. But what this ending actually does is give you a whole load of options. It gives Treyarch so many options as to what they can do in the next game. Maybe in 2-3 years time, when we get another Call of Duty, Treyarch now have so many options as where they could lead off from. In the first map, in 3 years time, we could begin to play as Primis, as our Origins characters, but millenniums of years ago. When we play zombies again in 3 years time, Treyarch could start this whole zombie storyline over, because that's exactly what they've done with this cutscene. They've once again sent our characters back in time, but this time to the Primis age, so now Treyarch have a whole new storyline to go off. But what they've also done is left open the storyline for our children. So say in 3 years time, we could also be our children grown up, which we know are Richtof and Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, but also Samantha. Treyarch now have that option to start off with in 3 years, so we could be playing as our children, but when they've grown up, when they are teenagers or in their later age. So this gives Treyarch so many opportunities to start off a new storyline, but once again, within what we know of Treyarch Zombies, and still as our characters that we know. Although some people may find it disappointing, there are so many options and so many ways you can take this, and honestly, when you think about it, I think it's pretty freaking cool. So I'll give you a quick summary right now of what's gone on. So we've defeated the Shadow Man. SOPHIA and Maxis sacrificed themselves to destroy the Apothecans and finally banish them forever. So Monty now has his perfect universe, but he notices that our Origins characters are still alive. They shouldn't be here because their other versions have been wiped out in all of the other universes. So right now, these Origins characters shouldn't be in Monty's perfect universe. They should have faded away. But as you see, Richtof had an insurance plan. He's drank the blood vials along with the other characters, and this has allowed them to stay alive. This has allowed them to not fade away. Drinking the blood has caused a paradox, but has allowed our characters to stay alive and exist in this universe. But as you can see, they can't be here. If they are here, then Monty's perfect universe, what he has been setting out to create all this time with the children in the house, our characters still being here, could mess everything up. So Monty says, either I send you away or I get rid of you, I just delete you from existence. He sees no other option but to start removing them from existence and just kill them off forever. But then he remembers there is one option, which is to send them back in time, back to the age of Primis, where his perfect universe won't be affected, but also where these characters will fit in. They've defeated the Apothecans in Monty's perfect universe. They are Primis in the new age, so sending them back in time as to when the Apothecans were first defeated to become the actual Primis would make a lot of sense. So that's exactly what Monty's done. Our characters are now Primis, and this leaves a load of options for Treyarch to start off with in their next Zombies game. Either, in my quick opinion, we start off playing as Primis with the ultimate staffs, or Treyarch could get a new storyline with our children when they are older, so we're still playing as our characters that we know, or we could have a whole new zombie storyline. But there we go, guys. That was a quick breakdown. There's still so much more we have to discover in this map. Who knows, maybe there is another ending. There's the whole talks of the super Easter egg, but for now, that's my breakdown. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Leave a like rating if you have. Make sure you are subscribed for more Sub-Zombies videos. I just said that totally wrong. Thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, guys, and goodbye.